Hello, I'm Joe, and this is Sierra Specialty Auto. Today we're going to finish building a wheel guard for the Dumore Toolpost Grinder. We're set up in the milling machine to continue operations. Let's just get right to work. So it occurred to me as I was getting in beyond the web, I don't have to mill this part off. When I take this out of the chuck to flip, before I set back up again, I'll go to the bandsaw and I'll cut this out. Now let's step over from 0 and set the table height so that I can go to full quill extension. That's just eyeballed, but it ought to be pretty good. Back into 0. Here's my Jim Deadman oil cup. Thanks again, Jim. Sure like that. All right, we are set up in the vise with a side milling slaughter. I have eyeballed the cut here, trying to split the difference here in the locking part of the band. I think that'll be plenty close enough. I'm going to feed by hand here. We're going to set the speed to somewhere around 250 and see how that works. May have to adjust that on the fly. Well, we've got our work reset horizontal. I've got the cutter height set, so it should just match up with the cut I've made in that direction. I've checked my clearances to make sure nothing's going to hit, and I'm going to keep the same speed. We ended up around 200 RPM, and take this in little bites, conventional cutting, until we achieve this same depth here. By golly, I believe we're done with that. I'm thinking this turned out pretty well. Here's the completed guard. Got good relief here for access of the wheel to the work. Good protection around here in the event of a broken wheel. Slides on very nicely. And we have some adjustment left and right for to accommodate different wheel configurations. Half a turn with the set screw locks it in place. I'm quite happy with this. I spent a little time on eBay and Amazon looking for correct plugs for these brush holder covers. Didn't find any. Ordered a couple that seemed about right, but they were not. So I think I'm going to do exactly what the last guy did. I think I'm just going to put a thin layer of RTV in that hole to keep chips and grinding dust out of there. I have one more chore to do here. We can see here in the online manual there is a holder for diamond point to dress the wheel. It has an end bore for dressing the edge of the wheel and a side bore for installing the point to dress the side of the wheel. That doesn't look too complicated to make, so let's see if we can do that. I got a piece of scrap stock here. This is the outline that I want for the clamp to clamp onto the work in the chuck or in the collet chuck or whatever holding device. I need a 3-inch hole on the inside, and it's about 4-inch diameter on the outside, and this is about 1 inch wide to have room for the holes for the point, the diamond point, and for a little brass thumb screw. So I'm going to line this on here where the 3-inch hole is overhanging this hole, and may as well put this straight edge up here on the selved edge of the material. This gives me a place for a hole saw to run out into this area and take the chips out. So I will take a center punch and get a starting point. We'll take this to the mill, use a 3-inch hole saw to open up the inside, and then go to the bandsaw to cut the perimeter. There's the hole. Now let's set up a boring bar, clean that up. I don't want to be looking at that hole saw finish in that clamp. So we've got a nice hole cut. Here's about what I want on here. I want the wall to be a 1/2 inch thick. I'm going to come around with the hermaphrodite scribe set to 1/2 inch. Well, I can't quite get 1/2 inch, can I? Or have I got that set a bit wide? What am I measuring here? I must have it set a tiny bit wide. Let's double check that. Oh yeah, I'm on 5/8. What the heck am I looking at? Okay, let's try that again. All right, now when this goes on here, I'll need a couple of lines perpendicular to those. And this is not highly critical, but we can make it fairly close. About like that. Ought to work. And 1 inch over from that, we'll leave a tail sticking out there. The amateur redneck says all projects begin at the bandsaw. Well, we're not beginning, but we're definitely going to the bandsaw. I lost the audio for this clip, so I will have to do a voiceover. I ended up going to the rotary table to do the perimeter of the clamp. Pretty happy with the way it came out after some cleanup and hand filing. It's pretty close to the pattern I made, and so that's pretty good. We need a cross hole for the diamond point for dressing the face of the wheel, and also a hole sideways for dressing the side of the wheel. And to secure the point, we'll need a 1/4 tapped hole on this back edge. Also, we'll need a 3/8 16 hole over on this side for another thumb screw to secure the clamp to the work. We'll also need a V-groove on this side to register on the round work to hold it, make sure the clamp stays secure. We'll have to do another setup on that. I've squared this up in the vise with a little machinist square, even with the jaw here, so I can put it back in the same position. I'm centered up on the Y. I'm in 1/2 inch on the X. So I'm going to spot this, and I'm going to drill all the way through, top to bottom, with an aircraft length number 34 is what I happen to have here, so I can pick up a hole in line. Not that it really matters, but nice to work to certain standards and do everything the same way, and it's easy enough. So let's spot this with my 120-degree spotting drill, and then see if we can get a hole all the way through without breaking the drill bit. This was purchased as a 3/8 inch diameter diamond point, but it actually measures about 3/86. So I'm hoping it'll go into a W hole. My golly, that's a little snug at the bottom, I think. Maybe take another pass with the drill, clean that out. I think that's going to work. I might end up running a W reamer through there just to make sure. Now, just for a sanity check, let's put a short number 34 in there and see how close I came. I'm off by maybe a 5 thousandths. Let's see, that goes through 7 thousandths of an inch. That's close enough for this. So now we will run a tap drill for 3/4 for 3/8 16. That'll be 5/16. What do we need next that's in line with these features? I think the hole for the set screw, or thumb screw. Of course, this is tremendous overkill, but this is what's handy for me to grab in a hurry to set this level. All right, I'll do some deburring on the inside surfaces of this. I forgot about my V-groove I need on the back side of the clamp. I'm set up here at about a 25-degree angle. That's about as close as I can get to get on center with this long end mill and still clear up here. So we'll make a pass with that, see how that does. Have to make another intersecting pass with a different setup. I think that'll do it. Let me do a little more deburring and filing, and now we'll meet at the roll-around cart. I do believe we're getting there. Got that notch, V-notch in there. Off camera, I made this thumb screw, piece of 9/16 brass hex for a handle, and a little bit of 5/16 brass rod to soften the end of the screw. We've got a nice slip fit in both directions for our diamond point, and thumb screw. Could have had that in there already, couldn't I? Brass thumb screw goes in nicely to secure the diamond point. While I was at it, I made just a quick matching holder, point holder that can be chucked up in the 3-jaw easily. And let's use that to see how this works. That lines up nicely, gets a good grip. So if you had this in the chuck of the lathe, you could be having this point go across your wheel. So 2 options for holding the diamond point. I'm pretty happy with that. Let's get this packed up in the box, ready to go. So let's get everything into the box now, see what is going to be included. We have 2 belts. These are both used belts. They're Dumore, I believe they're 17 3/4 inch correct belts for the machine. As I say, used, but both of them in quite good condition. Should give quite a bit of service life to the new owner. Let's tuck those in the bottom there. They seem to fit right there. We'll have to take the guard off the machine. we've got to take the wheel off to get the guard off. We have here a Craftsman 5/8 by 3/4 open end wrench that I found in my miscellaneous wrench drawer. That happens to fit the drive pulley, the nut on the motor for the drive pulley on the 3/4 inch end, and the 5/8 inch end fits the nut on the driven pulley and fits the wheel nut that secures the wheel. So I'll get the wheel off, put this hardware back on, and run that up snug so it doesn't come loose. Just snug. Take the guard off. Now we'll get the motor to squeeze up in here. It goes in against some spring tension if you set it into the case. Well, sort of locks it in. We'll have the wheel guard in here. Here are both of the dressing point holders locked together to protect the point and keep things from flopping around. I can get those. When I get those in there, that'll work. We have a bag of stones and spacers. I guess these stones mostly worn out, but I'm going to leave them in there to give the new owner an idea what they're looking for. That'll go in. Here's the bag of pulleys. There's a total of 5 pulleys. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are on the motor. These, I believe, are spacers. That looks almost like a pulley, but I think it's a spacer. And T-nuts. And we'll put all that in a bag, along with the 3/16 Allen wrench for the belt guard, the wheel guard. Drop that in the bottom here. And we'll put in this wrench. So that'll be a complete tool kit. And we need the cord. Put that in and close the lid on this thing. That box ready to fill up with some packing material on the inside to keep things from rattling around, and then we'll put that in a box and ship it off to the new owner. This is going to show up on the YouTube, the Facebook Used Machinist Tools for Sale group. If you haven't signed up for that group, you might want to take a look. There's a lot of good deals to be had there. I've bought some items for good prices, and I've sold some items for good prices. It's a very good marketplace for used machinist tools. Again, that's the Facebook Used Machinist Tools for Sale group. That is a moderated group. You do have to join, but joining is simply a matter of answering a couple of questions and being approved by a moderator. We'll call this a wrap on this video and on this series. The Toolpost Grinder been checked out fairly thoroughly, found to be in good condition, has been fitted with a proper belt guard in the original style, We've made a couple of tools to go with it for holding dressing points, and we've included appropriate hardware and wrenches to make this a fully functional tool right out of the box. I hope you'll comment. I hope you'll subscribe if you haven't already, and I want to thank you very much for watching. I'm pretty happy with the way that project came out. Fits well, looks to me as if it's going to work well. The only thing I haven't done, I don't believe, is run the machine with the belt on the spindle. So let's move over to the roll-around cart and take a look at that before we end this video. Here is the complete machine with a stone installed, the wheel guard installed, and a belt on the pulleys. Let's fire it up, see what it sounds like. I don't have a new machine here with which to compare it, but that doesn't sound bad to me. In fact, it sounds pretty good. I'm satisfied with that. If you haven't watched part 1 and part 2, you might want to check those, follow along for the whole project. Thanks for watching this one. I appreciate it.